not here to kill you.
Tell me then, what is your intended purpose?
We were sent to look for you.
Apologies, but allow me to express my doubts.
Well, after this little swim, you could always try to pull the trigger.
Who sent you to find me?
Well, we were not looking for you in particular, but the entire expedition. It was Governor Burham who asked us to find you. He's worried about you. You haven't been reporting.
You should have said that straight away. I must admit, I was hoping for a rescue of a different nature. Do you have a name?
Desarde. I'm from the congregation.
The new governor's cousin, who wears an islander face. I've heard stories about you. And them?
Bishop Petrus, if our young friend hadn't insisted on coming here, I would have gladly let you rot in this marsh.
Behold the charity of the enlightened, huh?
Kurt. Simply Kurt. I protect our excellency's back. And if one of your violent fits overcomes you, rescue party or not, I will kill you.
This is a rather odd group. I am Afra, a scholar from the Bridge Alliance. It is rather rare to find me rolling in the marshes. I study the fauna and flora of this isle. I should imagine you have many questions.
We saw the site where you were attacked. What exactly happened?
We were taken by surprise. One moment everything was calm, and the next a war party of natives fell upon us. I had an uneasy feeling and kept myself apart, but when I heard my fellow scholars shout, I rushed over. Most of my companions are incapable of defending themselves, and we didn't have guards to protect us. One of them tried to flee, but they brought him down. We decided to give ourselves up to avoid a massacre.
What has happened since the attack? How long have you been in these marshes?
We were taken prisoner and were brought to a village nearby. I was able to escape while the others were taken to a house that they use as a prison. I wanted to join the Bridge Alliance frontier post not far from here, but I wasn't able. So I doubled back to keep watch of the village from a distance. I have been hoping to find a way to free my companions, without any success so far.
Have you made progress in your search for a cure?
We were studying some quite remarkable plants when we were attacked. The region is rife in unknown and novel species. Some seem incredibly promising. The local shamans know all these plants and they use them in their remedies. If only we had been able to converse with them rather than getting ourselves captured.
Could you lead us to the village where your colleagues are being held prisoner?
Certainly. We are oh so very close. And I fully intend to participate in this rescue. I'm not one to sit around and twiddle thumbs.
This is where the natives took your colleagues?
Yes, it is here. These ruins are being used as a camp by the native raiders.
There are so many of them. Better to remain discreet.
I have spied on the camp and discovered where my colleagues are being held. They are being kept in the old walls of the main ruin. I fled as they were about to lock my companions inside a cell. We're going to need a key.
The prison guards will certainly have the key.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
To my health! And death to the others! Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
Afra, is that you?
Come quickly, we don't have much time. Thank you for your help.
Do not thank me yet. We are still in a shipload of danger.
We are no longer in danger. Thank you for your help, Desade.
I must admit, the reasons for my being here are not entirely selfless. Your research to find a remedy against the Malachor could save many lives in our cities as well.
You speak like a true man of science. Cut to the point. Then you'll be thrilled. Your heroic efforts to save us from those savages could help. We've made a discovery.
Is that right? In that case, we need to speak with Governor Burham immediately.
Very well. I'll accompany you.
Let's be off.
Sir Desade, and our expedition. I thank you sincerely for having brought them back, Excellence. You are a providential man.
Please, sir. It was you who convinced me and my cousin of the capital importance of their research.
Research that has borne fruit, Your Excellency.
Truly? This is excellent news. You have found a plant with sufficient properties?
Not exactly. Know that during our captivity, an island woman visited the camp. The natives called her Tiena Hac Cadactus and treated her with utmost reverence. I heard them talk about a remedy, a universal remedy it seemed, that she had concocted.
Incredible. To think that what we have been searching for all these years could have been created by a savage. We must converse with this woman, and in haste.
We would be happy to assist in this matter, Governor, but I fear we would not be particularly well received.
If obtaining a remedy for the Malachor is at stake, I would be happy to take charge of the matter.
I would like to accompany you if the Governor gives me leave. I will not miss an occasion to meet the woman who elaborated such an important panacea.
Accorded. It is only right that one of our own participate on the expedition that will restore health to our continent.
Very well. We shall do all in our power to find that woman.
You are from the continent, are you not? You are different than the people from here.
Delighted to see you again, Sister Ephesia.
Father Petrus, is that really you? What are you doing here?
Merely a courtesy call.
How might I help you?
How has your mission fared up until now, sister?
Not very well, I'm afraid. I haven't been able to get much from these villagers. Their chief and their priest are evasive when questioned. As for the other natives, their behavior can be quite odd. They'll spend hours just staring into the void. But as soon as I come close, they chase me away. They frighten me, I must admit. There is a heavy veil of evil here. I feel it, but I'm not able to find from whence it comes. Perhaps you should talk to them. They may speak to you.
Ber Tirtumad on Olmenawi. I am Deirdre, daughter of Enora, daughter of Rowena, Mal of this clan. What do you seek?
Can you tell me something about your beliefs?
We believe that we are part of an everything, and that life depends on a balance that comes from this everything. Our strength is drawn from that which we protect, all that surrounds us. And that which surrounds us feeds and protects us in return.
Do you know anything about a demon that would be worshipped by your clan?
It is not enough to take us for idiots, and now you accuse us of bowing down to evil creatures. But a lack of understanding leads to fear, so I will not prove you wrong.
Anything new?
No. The investigation has gone stale. The villagers won't even engage in conversation with me now.
One of the villagers that spoke with me seemed truly worried. On edge, even.
I think I know of whom you speak. A man always looking over his shoulder. He often sneaks out of the village like a thief. I attempted to follow him, but he always eludes me. I tried to get into his hut to see if he was hiding anything, but someone was always there.
Then we should give it a try. Perhaps we'll fare better. This altar is incredibly morbid. I wonder what sort of spirit could be venerated in this way.
This is exactly the kind of proof we've been looking for. An evil cult, far from some naive veneration of nature and other island spirits.
This painting is frightening, evoking war, a massacre, a bloodbath under the likeness of a grimacing face.
All these gruesome and bloody horrors leave no room for doubt. There is a demonic cult here. We should go tell Sister Ephesia.
I was able to sneak into the hut of our mystery man.
And what did you discover?
Some troubling things. A ritual mask, a rather morbid altar, and a fresco depicting a massacre.
By the Enlightened. To think these unholy things were so near. Finally, the proof we need that there's a blood-worshipping cult here. They cannot perform their heinous pagan rituals in the village, and I'm certain that it's where our nervous friend sneaks off to. I failed to find where he goes, but you have already proven more competent than I.
I shall try. Hopefully he won't lead us into a trap.
Thank you for your help. And good luck.
Where could our man have gone?
These strange roots are forming some kind of door. This must be where he went. My child, you are very pale, as if you just saw something terrible.
That's precisely what has happened. For a brief moment, I was this tree.
This is truly some strange sorcery. What exactly did you see? Perhaps it is some sort of key.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant, and flames began to devour me. Life left me. All was calm, and I had a taste of cinder in my mouth. In spite of this, I continued to feel. And the rain began to fall on my roots, and at the very heart of my being, I felt the sap begin to flow again. A shoot appeared on my darkened roots. Then the vision dissipated. I have never experienced anything like it before. Quiet.
Close duis atuda yam canadedole. Tadulan vrandi. Alauneles agen ole vei. Closi garamam itelami olflinau ich egrem. Closi gedem dayentis olarabeni a ol slai. Vanqua sakengedem fradem adigalem. Lingui dwinterbu so galamsani. Tugombenis gremos nigawi. Renkasie krimaderem denegau edent. Los duis arujekt nes diri.
Lois des Raman Ades Gideon Arenta Esfarnu Fradi Damagengadan yadigala dandien. Esparnu fradi, dawe gaishidam. Agesparnu fradi, dawe gremosenagui.
There is no longer any doubt. The creature who was talking through this tree is a demon.
In any case, Teleme's story suddenly sounds way more plausible.
Up there. The ruins Lady Mirage told us about. But I don't see a path.
Some of the tunnels in the mine may lead to it. We should go there.
Good day. What can I do for you?
What can you tell me about the ruins on the plateau?
You aren't the first to ask me about them, but the answer is still the same. I've nothing to tell you. Not that I wouldn't want to, but I've never been there. There must have been a path once upon a time, but it's no longer there. Maybe it collapsed. Some say that you have to pass through the mines to get there. A few of the tunnels do climb. It's certainly possible, I would say, but those tunnels are all closed, and we have better things to do. The iron ore, it doesn't come out of the ground by itself.
Talk to me about the mines.
It wasn't us that first dug them out. They're really old. Centuries old. But those tunnels are full of riches. It takes little effort to unearth the minerals that we want. What more could we ask for? Seeing as how there aren't that many of us, if we were pressed to mine all the tunnels, we'd be too few. But the time will come when folks hear about what we're pulling from these rocks. We won't be alone for much longer.
Finally, here we are. These are the ruins that Lady Lorene spoke to us about.
I'll drown myself with the morning tide if these buildings are of native construction.
Explore the area. Something may give away the identity of the architects. This journal confirms what we suspected. A continental nation had once attempted to colonize the island with the help of the Nords, and they were repulsed. From what I was able to decipher, few of them actually managed to escape.
I should have known as soon as we discovered those ruins that we were not foreign to these lands.
The major part of the journal has faded, and I'm not able to decipher the name of the author. Let's continue our search. We must discover which nation was here.
This seal. I know the insignia, even if it has become more detailed in recent decades. It's hard to believe my eyes.
What nation does it belong to?
This is the ancient coat of arms of Serene. It's a congregation seal. I think the information is pointing to something clear. No possible doubt remains. All the clues point in the same direction. The people from the sea who built these ruins and confronted the natives, they were us.
And to think we helped you. I'm having trouble dealing with this, even if it does explain a lot. We're gonna have to keep this story under lock and key. The natives are not gonna swallow it easily without a long chew.
This must be the reason they kept us in the dark. Constantine is gonna be furious when he learns this.
Cousin! You have returned! How did things go?
Oh, you don't look well. What's happened here?
Nothing. Nothing terribly bad, in any case. I must have eaten something that's having trouble going through me.
It seems to me that this illness has been lingering too long. Who prepares your meals? Are they safe?
No one is poisoning me, dear cousin. We are far from court and their customs. It's nothing. Take my word for it. Now then, what do you have to tell me?
Allow me to present Afra, an emissary of the Bridge Alliance. She is an eminent naturalist who studies local flora in an effort to find a remedy.
Your Excellency, it is a great honor.
You were part of Governor Buren's lost expedition, if I've understood correctly, were you not?
Yes, and our research would have borne fruit if it hadn't been so brutally interrupted.
I can only imagine. Nevertheless, you are most welcome. Your great learning will certainly prove useful. I implore you, my dear cousin. Do continue. We are eager to hear your news.
We had a talk with Lady Morange and we explored the ruins that she suggested we visit. All our findings point to one conclusion. Those ruins were originally built by the Congregation of Merchants.
The Congregation? Us? But Father never once even hinted. Once again, he must have deemed me unworthy to know the secret. How he must despise me.
Constantine.
We need to learn more. I want to understand. I need to know everything my father has kept from me. This question also concerns you. You look too much like a native for that to be a coincidence. Since we cannot bombard my father with questions, others here must give us the answers we require. The congregation, even in the past, could not have made it to this island without help. We are pitiful sailors.
You are thinking of us. But I assure you that I know nothing of this story.
You are perhaps simply not aware, but your admiral stationed at the captainry surely is. Go and find her, cousin. Try to learn the final chapter of this story.
Very well.
Good day, my lord.
Desardet. I'm the emissary of the congregation on Tirfredi.
And cousin to the governor. I know exactly who you are. Enchanted. I am Admiral Cabral, and I see that you're accompanied by one of our own. Hardy winds, Vasco.
Hardy winds, Admiral.
You are still angry with me for keeping you ashore, are you not? You'll one day thank me for it, but I don't suppose you've come to talk to me about affectations. What can I do for you?
I've explored many ruins on this island, ruins that after careful scrutiny were built by the congregation. In one of them we found a journal that made reference to your guild. This document, as are the buildings, date much further back than the arrival of the Bridge Alliance a decade ago. These discoveries raise a good many questions, questions that my cousin would like you to answer.
I understand. The secrets. They often cut both ways. Therefore, I'm going to reveal to you another. We discovered this island nearly 2 centuries ago. A few decades later, we sold the discovery to your nation of merchants. Then, our closest allies. We transported some lords, men, and merchandise. They began to colonize the island. The lords revealed themselves to possess a tyrannical nature and began to exploit the lands with a deadly passion. Their actions provoked a revolt of the natives, but also the very workers and craftsmen they had brought with them. The magic of the natives of Tir Freddy was awoken. Beasts came out of the woods and destroyed the new cities. Only a handful of lords and armed men were able to make it back to our ships. The losses were enormous. The humiliation, devastating. Your princes paid us well to keep their secret. They continued to make the occasional expedition. You are, in fact, a product of one of them.
What are you saying?
You must have had your doubts. You are the child of a native. You were born on one of our ships.
The child of an islander? But I know who my mother is, and...
I understand how difficult this is to hear. And I wouldn't know why your family has kept this from you all this time. In the end, we decided to sell the secret location of the island to other nations. The congregation, in spite of its fears, could not keep away. And here you are again. I am sorry for the shock I have caused you. You asked me for the truth, and now you have it.
I can't believe it. That for all this time, I've been fed lies. Did Constantine know? I must go and see him.
My child, I understand that this revelation is upsetting. I wish I had the right words to comfort you. In any case, you do not have to be ashamed of your ancestry. This island is at the very core of all our faiths.
Cousin, you couldn't pick a better time. I've been taken with jitters like a cat on a midday roof.
What are you waiting for with such anticipation?
I took your advice, you see. I've summoned one of these crows! He has been examining me for nearly an hour. I just barely escaped a purge. But I was given the mandatory bleeding. I so hate their little knives.
And so then, our venerable doctor, what is the verdict? The blood is black. Constantine, is this your blood? Constantine, answer me. Constantine, stay with me. Constantine. There is a chance that he is in error. It might be something else.
I'm going to die.
No, Constantine.
I will die, like your mother, and the others on the continent. I am dying. I don't want to die. I don't. Not so soon. It's so... Cousin, I don't...
Constantine, I'm here. Pull yourself together. Out. Everyone out. It's an order.
Thank you, cousin.
There now. Are you better?
I don't know. You won't leave me, will you?
I'm going to find a cure, I promise you.
Didn't you promise the same thing to your mother? You know I'll be dead before you find one.
Don't say that. I will succeed. I've already some promising trails to explore.
I don't know, cousin. The tidings are so awfully dire. I'm afraid. I'm so afraid. I doubt the reason for your visit was to console me in my tragedy. Tell me, what brings you here?
It can wait. It's nothing that can't be dealt with later.
But please, whatever it is, it will take my mind elsewhere.
I was able to get the whole story out of the Admiral in exchange for a service. As our investigation was leading us to imagine, the congregation did once attempt to colonize the island. The Nauts discovered it some 2 centuries ago and brought our people here a few decades later. But the enterprise to colonize the island failed completely. There were a great many bloody battles. Few colonists survived. The princes preferred to hide their defeat and paid the Nauts to keep the secret.
That they hid the fiasco from the world, I get. But that my father said nothing about it to me.
That's not the most shocking part of the story, believe me.
What do you mean?
The congregation continued to make expeditions to the island with the help of the Nauts. According to the Admiral, my mother came from the island and was brought back. I was born on one of their ships.
What? But... that means you are not...
your dear cousin? No. All the lies we've been fed since our tender childhood. The fable told that I'm the spitting image of my dead father lost during an expedition. God, I don't know what to think, Constantine. Why did they do that to me?
I don't know. It's another one of their sly and dark orchestrations. Some vile intrigue. If it is of some comfort, no matter the true story, you will always be my dear cousin. You have always been the only one to care for me. You are my only friend. That's all that matters to me. Keep this discovery between us. No one needs to know. My aunt adopted you after all. Bring in the others. Let us speak of different concerns. That's enough bad news for one day. Kurt, what is...
Dismissed, soldiers! Leave us. We have much to say.
What is going on? I don't appreciate this attitude, Kurt. Must I remind you that these men all answer to me?
Times change, Your Highness. Or rather, they're about to do so.
Is that a threat? What are you hoping to accomplish? Don't tell...
Silence! We have little time, and none to lose.
Kurt, what are you talking about?
The commander of the Coin Guard is here in New Serene at this very moment. He's preparing a coup d'etat. In the 3 cities of the island, our men are going to eliminate the governors and their entourage.
This is madness. How?
How? You'll go down as easy as plum pie and cherry wine. Standing behind every one of you is one of our men. You have entrusted us with your security. You are completely at our mercy.
Then why did you send your men away? And why are you telling us all of this?
I've known you both for a very long time. Too long. I've come to know you. To respect you. And I've never reneged on a contract. These orders go against all that I am. A cold-hearted mercenary. Definitely. But never a traitor. And so now you are forewarned. You must take action.
Thank you, Kurt. I will not forget this. Constantine, we need to get you to safety as well as your counselors.
But I want to...
What? Take part? You can barely stand up. No. We must take you into the cellar.
If I've completely understood what you've said, Kurt, the governors of our cities are also in danger.
Yes. If you want to keep your allies, Your Highness, you also need to warn them.
Correct. We cannot let them fall into the hands of these traitors.
I will find the means to send them a messenger. Do you know where to find your conspirators?
It would seem I should be one of them. They are counting on me to eliminate both of you. The most urgent matter is to get our hands on the commander and his 3 lieutenants. The others are doing nothing but following orders. If we cut off their heads, they will fall into rank.
I always knew you were a good man.
Don't make me change my mind. We'd better be off. Now. We'll certainly have to fight some traitors at Torsten's behest on our way to the cellar. Stay on your guard.
Stay behind us, Constantine. You're in no condition to fight.
We must also think about the advisors, including your professor. And then we have to rescue Lady Mirange.
We must hurry before the guard can act. Lord Minister!
The Coin Guard wants to take control of the island by assassinating all its governors.
The Guard is everywhere. They could succeed.
We will do everything in our power to thwart them. Come now. We'll take you somewhere safe.
I'll follow you.
Lord de Cossillon! The Coin Guard tried to assassinate my cousin and is plotting the same actions against the other governors.
So, they have finally done it. Such proximity to power is a terrible temptation. It was only a question of time before they succumbed.
We should have paid more attention to your lessons. We might have been able to avoid all of this. Follow me. I'm taking you somewhere safe.
I'm coming.
Yeah! Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Things are about to get... We've reached the cellar. It looks like a good place to hide. Constantine, promise me that you will stay here until we secure the city.
Do I even have a choice? Here I am, consigned to my quarters like some broken old maid.
Like someone ill, Constantine. Someone sick who is dear to me, and the city wouldn't survive your loss.
You have such a way with words. Very well. I promise to stay here, obediently awaiting your return.
Let's go then.
And cousin? Watch out for yourself. You were dear to me as well.
Lady Morange, make ready to depart. We cannot remain here.
But what is going on?
The Coin Guard has decided to take control of the Isle. They plan to overthrow the government. They were set on assassinating Constantine and his entire entourage.
The idiots!
You are in danger. Do you know a safe place where we could take you?
Don't worry about me. I have friends here. They will hide me. Go! And do be careful.
Make preparations to leave. I have a message to communicate immediately to the governor of San Mateus. You must tell the Mother Cardinal that the Coin Guard is preparing a coup d'etat. Her life and those of her entourage are in grave danger.
Very well, Your Excellency. I'll leave immediately.
The commander must be in his upstairs quarters preparing the attack. We should try to reach him discreetly.
We could try to go through the tavern's kitchen.
That's one way to do it. Or we could use the scaffolding to access the upper floor directly. But it's visible from the dormitories. And I know that the young recruits were ordered to stay there.
They will not suspect us if we're wearing guard uniforms. Do you know where the 3 lieutenants you told us about are located?
Ludger is an instructor. He'll be in the right wing of the barracks. As for the other 2, they'll be at the tavern. Olga and Werner are in charge of the guards' secondary activities. In the basement.
I see. Our priority should still be to stop Torsten. We'll worry about the others later.
What are you doing here? Who let you in? I demand an explanation.
It seems that your men are a little distracted this evening, Lieutenant. It is understandable, with all that's been going on. You are under arrest, as well as your commander.
But what is this? I recognize you. You're the governor's emissary. And Kurt, you had your orders.
Sorry, but forced to betray someone, I decided it would be the less likable of the lot.
Traitor. Soldiers, ready weapons.
Bit of poison on my blade.
Things are about to get dicey.
Let's see if you can ward off this fate.
I regret, my lord, we are closed this evening. Come back another day.
I'm not here to tempt my luck. Are you in charge?
That's right, what do you want from me?
From you? Nothing. We are here to arrest the commander's lieutenants.
Is that right? Now this ought to be good. And for what crime would that be?
You know very well. For high treason.
Oh, and you think that my men are just gonna let you, without so much as blinking an eye?
Kurt?
The real question is, why would they stand up for an egotistical vermin like yourself, who, for his personal advancement, would condemn the rest of us to an eternity on this isle, cut off from the world, without supplies, and surrounded by furious islanders? What a great idea. Come on now, give yourself up, imbecile. Only you and your companions are crazy enough to believe such a plan had legs.
Sorry, Lieutenant, but Kurt is making sense.
Bit of poison on my blade, and let's go!
Soldiers, ready weapons! We are under attack!
We have been sent by the Governor Constantin d'Orsay. Your lieutenant is accused of high treason for having participated in an attempted coup d'etat. As you can see for yourselves, the attempt failed. Are you also ready to be accused of treason because of your loyalty to your lieutenant?
I doubt it. I'm sure they're gonna make the wise decision. Isn't that right, Dieter?
You give your word that we'll suffer no repercussions if we lay down arms?
You have my word.
Very well. We are dropping our weapons, soldiers. That dog's hide doesn't deserve our sacrifice.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Shit. We've arrived too late.
Do you know where Torsten could have gone?
No. But we'll certainly find some information about it in these papers. Torsten suspected that I would denounce him, and he was prepared to leave this place. We must catch up to him. He cannot get away with this.
Let's go.
Torsten is a snake, but he's clever. Apparently, he suspected I would refuse to follow his orders.
He must have been told about our attack on the ghost camp and drew his own conclusions. He knew you better than you thought he did.
The guard, we're moving out. Break camp. We are no longer welcome here. And so, these snake oil merchants defy us by sending their watchdog. Let's show them what guards are made of! Come here, you pathetic dog!
The game is over for you, Commander.
Do I have the time to return and see those dear to me?
Constantine, how are you feeling?
Death is on my doorstep, and all hope has flown through the window. Come closer. What ill tidings do you bring?
Yes. I thought you'd like to know that the Coin Guard's attempt to take control of the island has failed.
This is excellent news. The kind I've not had in a great while. Thank you, Kurt. Were it not for your loyalty, we were lost. As for you, my dear cousin, you know what I owe you. Not only have you looked out for me, like always, but you have protected my advisors.
Yes. And if your highness would permit, I would like to relay our most sincere gratitude from all of Thélème. Thanks to your message, the Mother Cardinal was able to thwart the commander's plans. By the grace of the Illuminated, the city is saved, and the traitors punished as they should be.
I was told that you were able to catch the commander and his underlings before they were able to flee.
Barely, but yes. They're going to have to pay for their crimes.
I cannot remember if the traitors are hung before being quartered or if it is the contrary. Enough talk of ruffians. They failed, and for that, I again thank Kurt.
If your highness is looking for a means to translate his gratitude, gold is a present that is always appreciated.
I imagine that you shall name a new commander.
Yes. I will discuss the matter with loyalist officers, but I think I know who will be elected.
I hope it is someone whom we can trust. We do need soldiers, but loyal soldiers above all.
We are well aware that the Guard's reputation has been tarnished. We will not make the same mistake twice. Sieglinde is solid and loyal. I have fought beside her.
You have my complete trust, Kurt. You have amply earned it. Before you leave, I must ask you something.
All right, I'm listening.
I'm always suffering, cousin. I'm in such terrible pain and we're yet to discover a cure.
I'm sorry. I fully intend to continue my research. We have a number of leads, but with all that's been happening...
Don't blame yourself. I know how much you do for me. Yet, I'm afraid that before the sickness claims me, the pain will have driven me mad. If only there was a way to ease my suffering.
I know of a healer with powers that are legendary amongst the clans. It is rumored he can alleviate even the most terrible pains. His village is west of the city. I could take you there.
One of our holy men lives in San Mateus. His healing powers are supposedly miraculous. Alas, it is a miracle we are in need of, my son.
If I may, Your Highness, we have the best physicians in the world. It shouldn't stop Father Petrus from praying for a miracle. It can't do any harm.
I'm nothing more than a sailor. I don't have much to offer when it comes to healing. As it would seem Thélème are prey for the Malachor, just like the Bridge Alliance. Perhaps it would be best to ask for aid from those not suffering from the plague.
The sailor's right. The holy men and the sages had their chance on the continent, and we all know how that went.
Thank you, as always, for your advice. Cousin, you are the only one I trust, so please, don't let me lose my mind.
I'll follow the leads and find a way. I won't let you down. Hold on. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Brutes! Leave me! I will follow you nowhere!
Come now, be reasonable. Our people require the talent of a doctor, and we would prefer to have the best. But an accident is quick in coming. We won't want to have to settle for second best.
I do not know what these brutes want with the doctor, but we cannot let them get away with this.
Well, well. What do you want?
You need to leave the doctor alone.
Is that so? Well, let's see if you can live up to your gigantic mouth.
To my help! And death to the others!
Grenade!
What a terrible mess. What a bunch of idiots. Thank you for your help. I don't know where they wanted to take me, but those brutes had the most detestable manners.
I'm happy to have been of service. Nevertheless, our presence was not a coincidence.
Are you in need of a doctor?
Indeed. My cousin is suffering from the Malachor. I know that there's no cure yet.
But you still hope. Because surrender is unbearable. I know that. I came here because I couldn't bear to watch the sick die any longer. I had hoped to never see a case of this disgusting disease. Yet here you are.
Your experience with the disease might be helpful in treating his symptoms while we...
You hope that a few days can bring you what we couldn't find in years? You are extremely naive. I would like nothing more than to send you looking for help elsewhere. But I cannot refuse you. Not after your intervention back there. You are so helpful, and it is only right that I return the favor. I shall leave immediately for New Serene. I'll do my best to help your cousin with the pain. That's all that I'm in a position to promise.
Thank you, Doctor. I won't ask for anything more.
This woman is the best Alliance doctor on this island. If anyone can cure your cousin, it's her.
If your science could do anything against the Malachor, the disease would have disappeared from the continent a long time ago.
We can only hope that she will manage to alleviate his condition. Excuse me, are you Cecilius, the famous...
I am a healer only through the grace of the illuminated. What can I do for you, my child?
My cousin, the governor of New Serene, is in dreadful pain.
Well, that's terribly sad. Was he wounded in combat? Was it during the Coin Guards' rebellion?
Alas, no. He is afflicted with the Malachor, and his days are numbered. We're looking for a cure, but...
Now that's a true miracle that you require. And I fear that they're extremely rare in these pagan lands.
Cecilius, my friend. If there's anyone on this island capable of helping the governor, it is you. Have you not been blessed by the illuminated? Is it not your obligation to aid our allies? Without them, who knows what would have happened to our holy city during the plot?
Petrus, you always knew how to weave words to get what you want. Very good. I'll go to New Serene and try to ease the governor's pain. But do not feed on vain hopes. There are trials that we must accept to undertake with humility.
1,000 thanks, Cecilius.
May the illuminated go with you, my child. There is no miracle that he cannot accomplish. I will pray that you find this cure that we need so desperately.
I have not lost hope.
Cecilius is an extraordinary healer. I'm certain he'll be able to at least alleviate Constantine's pain.
I do not know your magic very well. But if it's so powerful, why would you have to come here to look for an antidote?
All I'm hoping for is that he will manage to give my cousin some time and some respite while we look for an antidote.
Ah, Your Excellency. The Enlightened must have sent you. I would like to ask a favor of you. As you may be aware, we suspected this island might be the one St. Lucius wrote about.
Did you?
We did, but let me explain. This island was where St. Matthias lived at the end of his life, and where he founded a perfect community. Some time ago, we created a village which we called Eden, following his example. We chose this place as it seemed to be the closest to the one described in the Holy Scriptures. It is a home to a community of converted islanders, accompanied and guided in their budding faith by our theologians. As you can imagine, it is of the utmost importance to us, all the more so because we discovered some tablets there, which were engraved by our founder.
An extraordinary discovery that confirms your suspicions.
I see you understand. Alas, these tablets were stolen, probably by the islanders who still reject our influence. I know that you are generally well accepted by the natives. That is why I was hoping that you could help us to retrieve what belongs to us.
I suppose I could go to Eden and try and retrieve them.
Marvelous. The leader of the community, Father Justinius, will be able to answer your questions. May the Enlightened assist you in this holy quest, Your Excellency.
What an astounding place.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desade, I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vigsenegad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthias, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug. a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people. And yet...
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I wonder how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence. Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Oh, alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to. But I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. Greetings, Desade. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here. And the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened, but someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Hello. Desade. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onolmanawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Ptolemy, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them, they were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthias, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstyrent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men, perhaps wiser than they are.
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
You're probably right. The Inquisitors would come back, and my people would suffer. I do not want to break the peace that I did all I could to make. I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
Had they been wiser and accepted their new neighbors, they'd never have been forced to leave.
Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur. Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Bertia Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of Saint Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
Tell me where the exiles are. I must retrieve these tablets.
You're asking me to betray my son. Promise me that you won't hurt him.
I promise. But if he reacts violently, I'll have to defend myself.
Then I hope he'll be reasonable. Bran and the others are hiding in the woods, beyond the Circle of Stone.
Thank you, Vindwal. Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
These people have been banished already. There's no need to add death to their list of punishments. Let's try not to fight them.
Do it! What are you doing here?
I'm not here to fight you, but I must retrieve the tablets of St. Matthias.
What? How do you know we have them? And how? Not for thee. We will not give them back! We lost our homes and families, so the priests lose their sacred stones.
I know that you are seeking vengeance, but the priests will not be the only ones to suffer the consequences of your actions. Your mother helped you, and once they find out about it, she will pay the price in your place. Is that what you want?
No. She only told us which night we could come. They have no right to punish her for this.
I doubt the Ordo Luminous will care. They will need someone to take the blame, and she's the obvious choice.
Very well. Take the stones and leave. All that's left to do is to rejoin the Donea Exregau.
What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
Don't worry, all is well. I managed to convince him to give me the tablets.
Ad Loredar, I did not believe my son to be so reasonable. You are giving me hope. I will go see him and tell him to find another clan. A place to welcome him.
I retrieved your relics.
Thank you. Thank you immensely. Thanks to them, we will be able to continue our research on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Your indulgence honors you, but how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not punished?
A good start would be to keep a better watch on the priceless treasures that you find.
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those who lived here for their opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything. We may have been a bit clumsy in the beginning, but we'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I'm very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Actually, I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. In the meantime, here, take this as a token of gratitude for the help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.
Yes! Get out! Who do you think you are to defoil our ritual? One of those mind shakers, no doubt.
Aiden, it is your duty to assure we are not interrupted.
1,000 pardons, Tien. It is indeed one of those mind shakers.
A mind shaker? Look at him more closely, Aiden. He is an Almanawi. Present yourself and tell me why you interrupt our ceremony.
My name is Desade. I have come looking for you to ask for your help.
I greet you, Donegad. We are so sorry to have interrupted your ritual, but my friend truly needs your advice.
Don't excuse yourself. Are you the daughter of Bladnid? Are you not a Donegad as well?
It is true, but my powers of healing are far less powerful than your own.
And you travel with a mind shaker. Strange trio.
I am Bishop Petrus, but I am not a mind shaker. A missionary. Why, pray tell, are you asking?
There are people wearing the same insignia that pass their time troubling the minds of my people.
Missionaries? I was not aware. I'm only here to accompany my friend, I assure you.
He is not a bad man, Donegad, even if his beliefs are foreign and strange.
Then, how can I help you?
My cousin suffers from a terrible sickness, the Malachor.
I do not know this sickness. But perhaps we call it by a different name.
It turns the blood black and provokes terrible suffering. And alas, it is fatal in all cases.
We've never seen the ailing touched by such a sickness, and I doubt I am able to heal your cousin.
We are looking for a remedy, but urgently need to relieve his pain. Could you slow the progression of the sickness? Keep him from suffering?
In that, I can help you. I know how to make one forget the pain, even the most severely wounded.
Will you agree to accompany me now? My cousin needs your help.
I have packed what is needed. I am ready to journey with you.
This pain, it'll be the death of me. I can't control my body. It's like being a stranger in a marionette set ablaze, consumed by a smoldering fire. The moment's growing near, isn't it? Am I about to surrender my ghost to the Reaper of Souls? You pop in just when you're needed, cousin, as always. Who are you? Your hand is cold as ice.
Your cousin is burning.
That is such a relief.
Let me present Katisach, Constantine. He is the greatest healer on the island. He will help you.
Please, stay.
I am here for you, Rnaise, and I will not leave until I found a way to ease your pain and suffering. Fill your mind with the patience of the ocean. I know not how much time I will need. I've never seen such a sickness. The spirits of your lands must be quite horrendous to cast down such evils upon the peoples that live there.
Thank you. Neither sign surgeon nor mage doctor could do a damn thing to alleviate my pain. I give you my last ounce of hope. Thank you, cousin. I don't want to imagine my plight without your intervention.
Oh, there you are, Your Excellency. The Enlightened has heard my prayers.
What's going on? Where are the others?
After deciphering the content of the tablets, they went north to continue their research in some swamps. But they must have encountered problems. Brother Fidelis came back here and he was in a dreadful state. He most likely came to seek help, but he fainted. It's impossible for us to know what happened to them.
I'm not a doctor, but I may be able to examine him.
Oh, please do. Any help would be appreciated. We've done our best, but our magic has proved inefficient. And the healer we sent for will certainly arrive too late from San Mateus.
This man is burning up with fever and he bears several bite marks and traces of blows.
The blows did not put him in this state. He looks like a victim of poisoning. With the right antidote, I think we could get him back on his feet.
Have you tried giving him any anti-poison?
Of course, but to no avail. And what if it were a hex cast by the heretics?
No matter what happens, you always suspect them. This man was in the swamp. We know it's home to many creatures that we have a poor knowledge of. But local healers will certainly know which antidote to use. We could ask Lair. He will direct us to someone who understands remedies.
Onol Manawi, you've come back to see old Lair. I heard that you managed to retrieve the tablets.
Did Vindwal tell you?
Yes, and I feel more at peace, knowing that our brothers are alive, and that they will be able to join another clan. And you proved me right. Peace with the Renaigse is possible.
I need your advice. You may already know that one of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition.
I heard about it.
He has all the symptoms of a poisoning, but the anti-poisons we gave him had no effect. He must have been bitten by a creature of the swamp, and we're looking for a healer who would know of a suitable antidote.
So, you came to see me. Interesting. Our neighbors did not think for one moment that we could be helpful. Alas, our Donegad is one of the exiles. But Vindwal knows plants well. She will know.
Thank you. I will go see her. I hope she agrees to help us.
Here you are again. What do you want?
I have come to ask for your help. Lair told me you know about remedies.
I do know a few of them. I have learned about plants. I used to want to become a Donegad.
One of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition. Apparently he was bitten by a creature of the swamp.
And now he has the Llewellyn fever. We have a good knowledge about this affliction. He will die if he does not receive proper treatment.
Do you know which antidote should be given to him?
Yes. These priests are idiots. They could have asked for our help, but they treat us like children. You are different. And you have allowed my son to join a new clan. So, I will give you the potion to cure the priest. Wait a moment. Make him drink this remedy and he'll get better.
Thank you, Vindwal.
Where am I?
You are in Eden. You're safe.
Was I unconscious for a long time? The other members of the expedition, they are in danger. The swamp is so hostile. We weren't prepared for it. Some of our people have disappeared.
What caused these wounds?
A nightmarish creature. The swamp is full of them. A colleague and I had left to fetch some help when we were attacked. I managed to run away, but I don't know what happened to him. As for those who were at the camp, you must go help them.
Show me the location of your colleagues on the map. I will join them.
There. Please, hurry.
Thank you. You should rest now.
was bring you to the place suggested by...
Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrived right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of this swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach Eden. He's the one who told us where your camp was.
But he didn't leave alone. What happened to Father Orbricus, who was accompanying him?
He must be dead, like our other companions. This is all your fault. This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and explain to me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken with no concern for common sense. We are not equipped to explore this type of place. Our people are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he's being so disingenuous. We have made incredible discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before anything else, I need to know what led to this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you quarreling?
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was always against it, especially under my supervision. For him, our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. According to him, we should never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The handwriting is the same. There are also some patterns, some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to decipher. Our founder explains that he learned a lot from the islanders, something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbricus to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing. And I'm not even talking about the ones who fell ill. I must admit that I underestimated the hardships we would encounter. I made a mistake. I should have prepared this expedition more thoroughly. But Virgil's being disingenuous does not help.
And no one has searched for those who are missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but someone later convinced me that it presented too much of a risk. Along with lack of preparation, our constantly decreasing number, and creatures swarming the area.
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother Virgil.
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information, but you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother Virgil.
Of course, that's understandable. You must hear us both before you can make a decision.
Brother Virgil.
What do you want?
Can you explain to me what caused such a quarrel?
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the research. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered on these tablets without doubting them for even 1 second.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, allegedly written by Saint Matthias, but their content is so absurd that they were obviously forged. I am certain that the natives must have found these stones before us and modified their content.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing. Do you know anything about this?
They did not go missing. They were killed. There was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here. We have been in this region before, and the only native we met was a little insane but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island. until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well? I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And, in any case, it is not what matters the most. Even if you think they are dead, we have to try finding your colleagues.
Well, if you are prepared to take such a risk, I can only commend you for your bravery and wish you luck. But I would not get my hopes up. You should start by searching the excavation site. To get there, take the path south of here. But be careful. The creatures that roam the area are ruthless.
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
If that were the case, there would be other marks of impact on his body. No. He was struck with an object to the back of the head. Given the shape of the wound, it was inflicted with a metal mace.
This man's death was no accident, nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace. And it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved, most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death.
Me in this battle! Shadow engulf our enemies!
The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he had died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound. But alas, it's impossible to know who was wielding it.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle!
The cause of death is no mystery. This man was attacked by one of those large reptiles, a Llewellyn. And yet, these iridescent marks on his skin make me think that a stasis spell was cast on him first. He was intentionally immobilized so that he would fall prey to this animal. It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
All these disguised deaths, these abject crimes. The natives can be violent, but they are not deceitful. I'm afraid that Brother Virgil may have found a way to take control of the expedition. He should be judged for it.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation. Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency! Weren't you supposed to be looking for our colleagues?
Indeed. I regret to say that they are indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste. Eugenia and her recklessness are to blame for this.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for this. These deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages! Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
Oh, Virgil, would you please stop taking us for fools? The natives had no hand in this.
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail. Does that remind you of anyone?
Fine. You unmasked me. But know that my cause is righteous. The Ordo Luminis sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island. But the inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy, a dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the natives? But even then, foolish Eugenia accepted these discoveries as truth, without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes, I wanted to scare her.
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far as assassinating several of your colleagues...
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the congregation? You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want to avoid using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
It is undeniable that these discoveries could cause a great upset in Taleme. But he has no right to decide what should be revealed or not. On this island, Cornelia should be the one to decide. Be careful with your accusations, though. Eugenia and her colleagues are on edge. We wouldn't want them to start killing each other.
Sorry, Brother Virgil, but I cannot accept. You will take your belongings and leave this place. The research will continue and their discoveries will be studied by wiser people than you. The decision to reveal them or not will be theirs.
I see. My colleagues and I will go back to Eden. I hope that you don't regret your decision.
Alas, I have found the dead bodies of your colleagues.
How horrible. But how? Oh, perhaps I should have listened to Brother Virgil.
I doubt it. Brother Virgil is responsible for these deaths. He was hoping to blame the natives for them and discredit you.
What? But why would he? He will have to answer for his crimes.
As I do not have the authority to arrest him, I sent him back to Eden. If you want him to face judgment, you will have to report what happened to the Mother Cardinal.
You are right. As soon as we get back to civilization, I will make sure that she hears about it. Once more, your help has been a blessing. Take this. Alas, we will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the research.
Were you hoping to discover more?
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp. But even if Virgil is no longer a threat, we are not sufficiently well equipped to go there.
We could go there for you if you wish. You just have to tell us where to look.
That would be marvelous. Of course, you would have to start from the excavation site where he wrote this. I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings. That would be fantastic.
Don't worry. I will conduct this research and come find you here if I uncover anything.
If their so-called saint lived around here, he must have looked for a sheltered area.
May the enlightened help us. May the enlightened protect you.
May the shadow engulf our enemies!
A cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world.
Indeed, there are some traces of life. But we will have to examine this
These murals are magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias, praying to Enon Miel Frictimen. Looks like a chaplet made of pewter. It's rather basic, but it was made a long time ago, and it undeniably comes from the continent.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias is often depicted or described as using a similar chaplet. Oh, I feel so lucky to be here, in this cavern where our founder lived.
Engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. I don't know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors. There are some native symbols here, and some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men duis dad, Enon Miel Frictimen. This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him.
I don't know if you realize the importance of what we've just discovered. Saint Matthias, the founder of Ptolemy, finished his life worshipping the islanders' god. This is so incredible. Although it will cause a huge upset for our nation, our cult, and our relations with the natives.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Ptolemy.
The great revelation that will change mentalities for good, or the preservation of the dogma at all costs? I think you already know which side I'm leaning towards.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp.
So, did you find anything? Or do you need my help?
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives, who had obviously created a sacred site, as the place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder? New relics? Perhaps some tablets?
There were also frescoes on the site, representing Saint Matthias.
Frescoes? Tell me more. This is fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On the other, he prayed to a god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the islanders?
That is what emerges from our findings, yes. Other objects that I was able to bring back also point in this direction. Look, there are inscriptions. These tablets and also this chaplet.
This chaplet? I cannot believe it. It is so Excuse me. I cannot find the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and present all these discoveries to the Mother Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to change. So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your support, we will convince her to reveal the truth.
I see. I will do my best to help you.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil.
Virgil? How did you know?
I'm afraid that Your Excellency's lies weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately, so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest the destruction of relics written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders, you leave us no choice.
Death to the heretics!
See if you know how to use your weapons.
Do you think you can face someone? I cannot believe that I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to hasten to San Mateus. They will not dare to attack you there. Even if these men were the last forces that the Inquisition could send us.
You are right. All this proves is that I will not succeed without your help. There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
And if you will allow me to attend the hearing, I would be delighted to support you.
Your help will be precious to us, Father. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as soon as possible. I will study the tablets one last time to make sure I know all their content. And I will meet you at the palace in San Mateus to plead our case.
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia. Be careful.
Ah, Your Excellency. We were eagerly awaiting your arrival. Sister Eugenia was just recounting me the tale of your achievements and telling me about the incredible discoveries you've made.
These relics shed a new light on the last years of our founder. It all demonstrates that he hadn't evangelized the islanders, but, on the contrary, he would even have adopted some of their rituals, merging the cult of the enlightened and the cult of nature in a single dogma.
These discoveries, if they can be verified, are extraordinary. But they also represent a great upheaval that could harm our nation. We must first verify their authenticity. You are the only ones who entered this cave. Could what you have witnessed been a falsification?
The cavern we discovered is located in a very remote place. There is no islander village nearby. It contains some ruined dwellings, but clearly no one has lived there for a very long time. Fraudsters would inevitably have left traces of their passage, and we have not found any. The entrance to the cave was protected by one of those giant creatures that the natives call a nardaig. These guardians usually protect sacred places and let no one enter without a fight. I had to kill this beast, which leads me to think that nobody had entered the cave for a very long time. We discovered ancient frescoes on the walls of the cave. They represent Saint Mateus without a doubt. He is depicted with his chaplet. In one, he is praying for the divinity of the island. In the other, his face was being painted by a native. I understand how shocking these discoveries are, but their antiquity proves that they are genuine.
The tablets found at the site, however, attest that our founder had not abandoned the cult of the enlightened. He simply saw it as two different reflections of the same divine power.
The relics could be authentic, Your Excellency, but we only have your word to convince us. The political and religious impact of these discoveries will be unprecedented. We risk schism, civil war. And who is to say that this is not a plan to weaken us?
It seems that you only see the negative aspects of this discovery. But the reality is very different. By integrating some of the natives' beliefs into your dogma, you could build an alliance with them. Something no other nation has managed to achieve before.
It is a good argument, Your Excellency. I hadn't thought about that.
I would also like to inform you that a member of the Ordo Luminous was part of the expedition. He tried several times to sabotage it, even killing many of his colleagues for it, and finally attacked us as we were preparing to join San Mateus.
You'd have thought that the remaining members of the Order would go to such extremes. But I fear these attacks are just a reflection of what will happen if your discoveries are made public.
Your Eminence, we are faced with a crucial choice for our nation. What does a man of faith do in such a dilemma? He prays and places his trust in the one who came before him and has shown more wisdom. Saint Mateus shows us a new way. If we are believers, can we really turn our backs on him?
You surprise me, Petrus. You who are always so political, yet your words seem sincere. You give me something to think about. Thank you.
What we have discovered is real. The very idea of concealing it is a disgrace.
Interesting remark from a representative of the nation we are fighting against. Does anyone wish to add anything?
I understand your doubts about the future that will inevitably be caused by such a revelation. You hesitate just as St. Lucius did to tell us about the journey of his master. Yet he revealed what he knew, and his words still guide Thélème today.
Thank you for your testimony. I will now retire to think about everything and make my decision. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is my duty to reveal your discoveries to the world. It will take years for our theologians to study all of this, but our dogma must follow the path opened by Saint Mateus.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I would be delighted to help with the study of these relics.
I don't doubt it, my dear. And I would like you to take me to see this cave. I look forward to worshipping at the place where our holy founder ended his days. As for you, Your Excellency, I thank you for the help you have given us. Your sincere insight has encouraged me to make this difficult decision.
It was my pleasure.
Let me also thank you, Your Excellency. Without you, we would still be in the shadows.